All right, Kurt Helin, the NBA is back on NBC, which means the NBA All-Star Game is also back on NBC. All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles coming in February. And it's got a bit of a new twist this year. It's going to be a USA versus the world matchup. That doesn't change how the voting goes necessarily. It's still going to be 12 players from the East, 12 players from the West. A little bit of a twist is that the positions are now out. You can vote for anybody that you want at any particular position. But the voting, it is underway. Fan voting is underway. And a fan vote always yields some pretty interesting returns. But you and I are among the voting class. So I want to just talk about kind of where our minds are at with these all-star ballots. I want to start with the Eastern Conference. You and I both have some locks there, some bubble guys. Run me through what your ballot looks like in the East as we assess the landscape in mid-December.
All right. So my locks, I think you'll be on the same page with most of these. Jalen Brunson, in. While we're doing it, Cade Cunningham, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, who might be fifth on my MVP ballot if I had to put one in today, Tyrese Maxey. I think Jalen Duren should be a lock. I don't think there's any question the way he has played in Detroit. And Karl Anthony Towns would be my other lock. I'm more curious where you stand on the guys. Now you get into the guys I have questions about. I think Jalen Johnson in Atlanta should probably be a lock. 4 straight triple doubles, but I'm not sure that he is. What about him or Scotty Barnes, Norman Powell, Josh Giddey? Should probably be in the conversation, but then you get into Evan Mobley, Desmond Bane, who I probably wouldn't have Mobley or Bane or Ingram or Adebayo on my list right now if I had at 12.
We have a comparable list there. I've got 8 locks in the East. I got Brunson, Cunningham, Brown, Maxey, Duren, Donovan Mitchell as a lock. Giannis is a lock right now. He's played 17 games, which is fine for the purposes of this discussion. But if this calf injury keeps him out for the next few weeks, he might not be game eligible, at least in the minds of some of the voters. I've actually got Scotty Barnes as a lock on my list.
Okay.
Toronto right now sitting in third in the Eastern Conference has been one of, if not the biggest surprise in the conference. Scotty Barnes, his efficiency numbers have risen back to the level they were a couple of years ago. He's been outstanding on both ends of the floor. He's a lock. Cat's on my fringe. My Cat is right there on the bubble. My bubble guys, I'm going to give it to you. I got 7 bubble guys right now for 4 spots. Or I guess 8 bubble guys for 4 spots. I've got Cat and Bam Adebayo. I've got Franz Wagner. I've got Jalen Johnson. I've got Norman Powell. I've got Evan Mobley. I've got Josh Giddey. And I've got Pascal Siakam on that list because he's having another great year.
Yeah, actually, Pascal Siakam is having a fantastic year on a kind of struggling team, and sometimes I think that hurts guys who probably shouldn't be hurt as much when we're talking about All-Star. Like, it should be a little beyond just wins and losses, but he's been great. I think you end up having to take one of Norman Powell and Bam, right? I don't know that you're going to put 2 Heat players the way they've gone this year. As great a story as they have been, I'm not sure that you're going to get 2 of them. You get to the real fringe for me, and it's like, what about Josh Giddey versus someone like Desmond Bane or Ingram or some of these guys or some of the guys you had on your bubble?
Yeah, Giddey is on so I'm going to go with Cat basically over Bam in that spot because I got to vote Norman Powell here. It pained me last year.
Yeah, the West is it's deep again this year, but he just got cut off by depth last year.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Norman Powell on that list. I've got Jalen Johnson on my final list. I've got Franz Wagner on my final list. And I guess the guys that don't make the cut right now are Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley. Giddey's a tough one. I think if the Bulls had kept up that early pace, I might be more inclined. He's averaging nearly a triple-double this year, which is ridiculous. And Siakam falls off because his team stinks. So I'm going, Cat, Wagner, Johnson, and Powell to finish off my top 12.
Franz would be a lock for me, except I don't know that he's going to be available now, right? I don't know how long he will be out with this injury. If he is available, then I am probably bumping Giddey or Jalen Johnson off of that group to put him in because I think he's been that good. I think he's been fantastic. He was absolutely deserving of the All-Star game. I'm just not sure if he's going to be healthy.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at the Western Conference then, because I've got 9 locks on the Western Conference.
I got 10.
To me, it's a much easier ballot, I think, to fill out. Shai Jokic, locks. Steph and Luka, locks. Durant, Anthony Edwards, locks. I've got Alperen Sengun as a lock. He's having an unbelievable year. Wembanyama, I'm putting him in the lock list, even though he's missed the 12 games. Maybe I'm just projecting out that he's going to be healthy and play the next 10 or 15 for the Spurs. And I've got Chet Holmgren as a lock. Chet Holmgren's been outstanding in Oklahoma City. Those are my 9 locks. I've got 7 bubble guys. The bubble guys I have are Austin Reeves, Devin Booker, Jamal Murray, Denny Avdia, James Harden, Lauri Markkanen, and Julius Randle in Minnesota. So I've got 7 guys that I'm considering for the last 3 spots.
I've got James Harden as a lock, partially because he has had to carry. I know the Clippers have struggled. He's been fantastic. He has put up numbers. I think there's little chance that they don't have a Clipper in the Clippers building. So, fair or not, I think he makes the list. Here's my question, and the vote. This is something that's going to come up. What do you do with LeBron? Like when I wrote the story, I wrote a story today at NBC Sports. I actually put him as an Adam Silver special edition because I don't know what to do with it. He hasn't quite earned it this year. He hasn't played enough games. He hasn't been that guy. But Chris, can you imagine the All-Star game where he's not there?
Not really, but up until right now, he has been the 3rd most productive player on his own team.
Yep.
So I can't put LeBron on the All-Star watch the moment. That's why I don't even have him in my bubble right now. And maybe that changes the next month. Maybe he takes off, goes on a tear for the next month before the voting ends, but he's not there. Harden, I see your argument that like it's at the Intuit Dome. You've got to have a Clipper in that lineup. I don't know. I mean, they're just so bad. Yeah. Like, they're just so bad. They're not winning games. What do you do? Harden, Kawhi, there. Yeah. Like, well, anyway, give me your locks first, though.
I had the exact same locks, except I'd put Harden in. The other 9 guys, we had exactly the same. I think Sengun has to be in there, and it's a lock. I think Chet has to be in there, a lock. And Jalen Williams just kind of loses out because of the injury and the lost time and doesn't quite get in. Then you get to those last 2 on the bubble. I had Reeves and Murray, but then that leaves off Denny Avdia, and that kills me. Like that guy, he's been so good for Portland, who has been better than expected. I mean, who do you have on that at the end of your list?
All right, so the 9 locks that I mentioned are there. The last 3 out of the 7 that I mentioned, I got to put Reeves on there. Like he's been great. Without LeBron, that stretch he had without Luka, like that was a defining stretch for Austin Reeves when he was just putting up like Luka-esque numbers. He has been awesome. I'm putting Jamal Murray on there. His numbers have been outstanding this year. The Nuggets are really good. This is the year Jamal Murray breaks through. And that final spot, I'm going Devin Booker. Like Phoenix has been a lot better than I thought. Yeah. Booker's putting up kind of Booker-esque numbers this year. Like I feel like if somebody has earned it from, one team, even though like nostalgia for the building, for the home team says Harden, I got to go Booker over Harden this stretch.
I think that's a legitimate case. Look, they have been one of the surprise better teams than expected, up there with Toronto, who we were, hey, how do we maybe we got to make sure Scotty Barnes is there because somebody's got to be recognized from that effort. I think that's the case. But in both of us now, I mean, leaving off Avdia is hard. And by the way, Lauri Markkanen can make a case. Like
he's on my,
Yeah, I mean, like Julius Randle, you could probably make a case, but I think you're only going to get one Timberwolf, and it's got to be Edwards. Like the West is so deep with guys who easily could be on this list.
Yeah. Well, make sure you vote over at NBA.com. The fan voting is underway. 2026 All-Star Game, Los Angeles, and live on NBC.